At last, it's finished. Oh, morning. I suppose I better do that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. It's what day is it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's just before Christmas. Yeah, this won't go out until after Christmas, so you won't see this until after Christmas. But we thought we'd better give you a bit of a catch up. So sweet peas and a bit of vegetable stuff. I think it's the 22nd, 23rd today.
23rd.
Second. Whatever. It's just before Christmas. Just an interruption to the work year. Okay, so sweet
Humbug,
peas.
Gary.
What?
Humbug.
Humbug. Yeah, I'm a humbug. Sweet peas.
Wait.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh, sorry. We have a guest. Linda's here from Huntsville, Muskoka. Come to stay with us for a few days.
And you've probably seen her in a previous video.
She was in the...
Go on, Linda. Go
she's
for it.
spoiling my image. Linda was in the day off one we did when we went to the locks.
Yeah.
So yeah, Linda's here for a few days.
She's here with us for Christmas.
Yeah, which would be really nice.
Linda, it's lovely to have you.
Oh yeah, and I've got Linda's canna lilies here, which I look after for the winter months. So we're going to go out there in a minute anyway. So
are we? Oh, it's cold out there.
Too bad.
Oh.
Sweet peas. Back to the subject.
Sorry.
After I was interrupted. We sowed these 3 weeks ago.
About 3, I think.
I think if you check back on the videos, you'll see when we sowed these. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again about why I sow them in seed trays. If you want to know why I do them in seed trays, check the other video.
I can't believe how tall these have gotten.
These have been on the bench, the new bench, which is actually finished. No heat. They have been getting light. So the light's been on for about 12 hours every night. I switch the cycle. So my lights come on at night. Not during the day when normally daylight would be. It's cheaper for a start. And what odds does it make to the plant material? It's in here in the dark or semi-dark through the day. And then 7 o'clock, the lights come on, and then 7 o'clock, the lights go off. So they're getting 12 hours. This side, no heat at all. So they've done that in 2 weeks. I did prick a few out yesterday. I'm going to prick a few more out today and show you the root system that these things have already got. It's a huge root system. And that's the reason we do them so early, to get the big root system, to get them established so that we have really good plants to get away in the spring. Sweet peas. There's a few other bits and pieces in here that I bought in from the greenhouse, which were struggling a little bit. Buddleia. Now everybody is going to go, oh, Buddleia invasive. I really don't care. I've been growing Buddleia now ever since I was a kid. And I will not stop. I do not care what people say about it invasive. If you look after it properly, if you do your garden maintenance at the right time of the year, if you cut the flowers off at the right time of the year, they're not going to seed. They're not going to be invasive. And even if a few do self-seed, here in Ontario, they struggle to go through. So always take a few cuttings. These are looking a bit rough. Bit of rosemary. Did this before we left our other property, actually. So they're in here now. Again, no heat. The other end... If I pull the sliding glass back, had a few issues with that as well. The plastic deck composite was a good idea, but it kind of sticks. So this is just some of our early salad vegetables. So I have perpetual spinach, cut and come again, lettuce, radish, some more lettuce, lamb's lettuce, and some rocket. Now I sowed this 3 days ago. So we'll keep you up to date on that. I would expect to see this germinating within the week. Now this is on heat. Half the bench has got bottom heat. And again, if you check back on the old videos, it shows you what we put in there and how we operate it.
Now this isn't the trial mixes that we're doing.
No, we're going to do those
later.
Just after Christmas.
Yeah.
So you can see that. So the temperature at the base of the seed tray at the moment is showing me about 74, which is actually pretty darn near perfect. So we're going to be at about 68 to 70 at the compost surface. Everything is sown really shallow. No need to sow it very deep. And there's no lights on here at all until something germinates. So that's a bit of a catch up on that. Let me turn this sweet pea off because I don't want them getting tall and leggy. So it's not dark in there, but yeah, there's not going to be a lot of activity in there during the day without the lights on. Sweet peas. We've already done the germination. No, we've done the sowing and
Yes.
we showed you the prop bench. Now we're going to get to the next stage, which is pricking out. So one of the trays, just pulled it off the bench.
I can't believe how tall they are.
Yeah, I know they've gone really well actually, but it's not. This isn't what I want. It's what's underneath the dirt is what I want. Because that's the important bit.
So you don't want the green on the top?
I don't care. Not at this stage. I just want some roots, really big roots on these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've obviously when I'm pricking these out, they're all labeled variety wise. So I just got to make sure I keep the rows. It's not necessarily the best way of doing it, but it works for me. And then one of the reasons for doing it this way is so that when I prick out, I can prick out 5 of the same size into one of these pots.
And that's a 4-inch again, or is it a bit bigger?
It's a bit bigger, isn't it? Let's just check. It's 5 inches deep, which is nice for the sweet peas. It's 4 inches across the top.
Okay.
So, but again, for the sweet peas, ideal. Slightly deeper pot is nice because they do have a long root run. Old fork.
Yeah, right.
Lift them out.
Oh, look at that.
That's what we're after.
That's what
we're after. So I'm going to try and find, now I'm just going to go through these. I'm going to find 5 of roughly the same size. That one, that's a better root system for pricking out. It's easier to prick out.
Yeah.
That compared to this great big long, poop. Hey boy. Again, I'm not holding these by the stem. I have them in between my fingers, so there's no pressure on the stem before anybody comments on it. Always prick them up like that. So I'm going to try and find 5 the same. So there's two more. Get right underneath them. Get the soil off. Again, really nice. Oop. 1, 2, 3. That's 4. I don't think I got another big one here.
That back one.
That one at the back here, I'm thinking. So there's 5, roughly the same size. Another nice root on that. Compost. This is a Gary special. Peat, perlite, a little bit of vermiculite, and my secret ingredient, spent horse manure that spent the whole of this year in a pot with potatoes in it. So now I mix in some of that. So I usually mix so the peat, perlite, vermiculite, and then I'll go half and half with the other, whatever I've got lying around usually.
I was going to say, because if people don't have, old manure, what else can they use?
It's not manure really. It's because the potatoes have been in it for a whole year. So it's really, it's really broken down. Hold on a second.
But Gary,
what
I'm getting at,
I know what you're
what if people don't have old stuff that's been spent its time in a potato pot?
Well,
what else can they use is what I was getting at.
I don't know. How about that? This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't look very good, but boy, do all the plants I grow love this stuff. So this is horse manure. The horses have been bedded on sawdust. So it spent the whole year in a pot with potatoes. It's breaking down really nicely. The only thing I do find with it, it does not hold the water very well. So it needs to be mixed with other stuff. But I find this combination of this and my mix and then the 50-50 peat perlite.
So if people can't get hold of old
compost
or old horse manure or whatever, can they just use the peat perlite?
Yes, you could use peat perlite. I would try and add something to it. I would try and add something that's going to give it a little bit more moisture retention, because peat perlite is very free draining. You really could do with adding a little bit of something to it. So maybe some old potting mix that you've got lying around the garden that you don't know what to do with, that perhaps you would throw out and put onto the garden beds. You could use that. Grow bags, some old grow bags. Mix in a bit of that. It just, again, it's back to that thing, and I've said it before, it just gives the compost a little bit of extra guts.
And it's using up some old
Yeah,
compost.
it's using
that
up
you
old
wouldn't
compost.
use for
And the
anything
sweet
else.
peas are not that fussy. And then the only other thing I do add is I add a little bit of fertilizer. Fertilizer, as Julie says. Osmocote. We use
I
Osmocote.
don't say it like
Yes, you do. No, I do. We use Osmocote. It's a time release. I use it for all of our for vegetables and our perennials. It wouldn't be a lot of good for woody plant materials, so things like roses. This one is a 3 to 4 month. So after 3 to 4 months, it's finished. You need something longer if you're going to do shrubs, trees, and stuff. But for what we're growing, pretty well all the time, I use that. I cannot remember. I'll have to look it up and see what the breakdown is on the MPK. But I know it's fairly balanced. I don't want anything that's going to send stuff flying away too quickly. So anyway, after all that dribble, fill up the pot. Just level it off roughly. A couple of taps, and that's it. No firming down. You've got to remember, a soilless compost does not need to be firmed down. You're knocking all the air out of it if you do that. And with it's basic pricking out. Sharpie pen, one in the middle, drop it in. No need to mess around.
Can you get your hand out of the way?
Well, how am I supposed to do the job if I got there? Look, root. In it goes. Wiggle it around as best you can. Just tap it down, and that's it. Again, don't tend to even firm these down. They have such a long root system. The root system's going right to the bottom of the pot almost already. So as soon as you put a drop of water in there, they're going to firm themselves up. And again, nice long root system. You can see the oat seed. So that at the moment is feeding the plant. Eventually that will run out, and then the little bit of fertilizer I have in there will take over. Now, I don't necessarily, again, I'm not after a lot of top growth with these things. I just want a root system on them. So these are going to go back into that propagating bench for probably only a week. Again, don't forget, there is no bottom heat. There is no form of heat in there directly. There's a little bit coming off the other end. They're going to go back in there for a week. And then after that, they're going to be moved. And I will show you at a later date when I move them. And that's pretty well it for the sweet peas. These are going to give me some really good plants for the spring. Now, after about a week, they're going to be moved again. They're going to go out into the polytunnel. They'll take about -5. So if you can keep it above -5, these can go out into your greenhouse. They don't mind a little bit of cold. If it's going to get a little bit close to that, stick a bit of fleece on them. Obviously, stick a label in and then give these a really good soak in there. And I'm using snow juice. Yeah? What? Told you I'm using snow juice.
Oh dear.
Our water
Explain.
Explain. Our water tank outside is pretty well frozen solid. I do have a small hole in it at the moment, so all the runoff from the garage and the sheds is going into the water tank, but it's a pain in the backside. So I do have a water butt here in the garage, and I just buckets of snow or shovelfuls of snow, and I just stick it into the 50-gallon drum, and it melts. And after it's warmed up a bit, I'm using that snow juice.
Nice, Gary.
Yeah, no impurities other than what falls out of the sky. So
it's good for most plants.
Yeah, it is good for most plants. So yeah, this will get a good soak. Put it in there, and we showed you earlier the ones that I did yesterday. They really pick up quite quickly. Yeah, so as I said, these were only pricked out yesterday afternoon. You can see how well they've stood up already.
They do look really good.
Now the light for these, I do not have it up very high. There's where the light is. So that's full lighting, which I would have for very tiny seedlings that I'm trying to get to grow. These I don't. These are just a little bit of light, so I turn it right back. Week in there, and then they're going to be moved. Bing! Right, ready. Meconopsis. I did say I was going to go into a little bit more detail on sowing and Meconopsis. Now, I'm just going to talk about the sowing today. I'm not going to get into all the rest of the stuff. For me, sowing and germinating it is the easy part. The hard part for me here with our temperatures that we're getting over the last few years in Ontario is keeping them going through the first season. It just gets so hot and so dry. I'm hoping now with more time and more actual places to put these things in the way of shade, in the way of good air movement, I'm going to have a bit more success. So this seed This seed came from the Meconopsis group out of the UK. And I belong to the group, and they have a seed exchange every year, and you can request certain seed. So I have, what have I got here? 6 different varieties of Meconopsis. That's one of them. That's Linghome. And if you want to read that, rather than me tell you what to do, that's pretty accurate as to what you should be doing with them.
You just have to pause the video and read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to believe everything I say. But a lot of it's going to depend on where you're based in the world. I mean, here in Ontario, and I keep saying this, and I've said it many, many times, we have the perfect weather patterns and weather conditions for germination of nearly everything. I can't think of anything that doesn't suit our weather conditions that we get here. It certainly suits the Meconopsis. So I'm going to pick one of these. Let's pick Linghome, which actually is this one.
Beautiful.
So we're going to do this. Tiny seed. Kind of tiny seed. You see it? Yeah.
Yep.
Now that one doesn't have a lot in. One of these, which one was it? Oh, this one. So this one is Meconopsis Fertile Blue Group.
Can't really see that.
Why not? No, I'm going to turn it around.
Oh.
Look at all that.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a lot of seed.
Yeah.
So, like I say, as being a member, I get the opportunity to get seed from the seed exchange. So, compost. Base mix here, 50-50 peat perlite. There is a little bit of vermiculite in here because I had a bit in a bag and I just tipped it in. So, a very light open compost. To that, so there's 5 gallon, if you want measurements, 5 gallon of peat perlite.
So that's a 5 gallon pot.
Yeah, our 5 gallon pot here in Ontario. And then 1 gallon of 4 mil gravel. This is the granite from Muskoka. You can use a limestone based one, but bearing in mind the Meconopsis would prefer slightly acidic soil. So that's my mix. No fertilizer, absolutely none. Do not put any fertilizer in. There is very, very, if any, seed that require fertilizer. They all have their own little seed package or fertilizer package in the seed. So I'll just give this a bit of a mix. Push that back in, and now when you hold this and let it go, it falls apart. It's a really good test. If you grab a whole bunch of compost, squeeze it as tight as you can, and then open it up and it falls apart, you know you've got a really good free draining mix. I'm going to use a small pot because it's not a big amount. Again,
What size pot is this?
oh, that's a 4-inch, I think. 4-inch pot. Fill it to the surface. Little tap. That's all it needs. Do not press it down. Make sure there's no seed at the top. The process is the same. It matters not what you're sowing. The process is almost identical for everything. This I can. You won't see it, I don't expect. Oh yeah, you can. And that's it. Pretty well it. It's not exactly rocket science.
What have you lost now?
I've lost my shaky pot. Hang on. I gotta go find a shaky pot. Labels, hold on. Shut up.
Them?
My labels, I did 15 minutes ago. More black ones.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
Lost the pen?
No. White.
Mm-hmm.
Black.
Nice.
Sprayed.
Yes.
Do you need to know with what?
I think we went through that.
Yeah, we did.
One of the previous videos.
Yeah.
I'll figure out which one it was.
Yeah, you have to go back and find the video. Pen.
Yeah. Where is it, Gary?
Right here. So, Meconopsis. And then the label. It does show up. When it dries, it actually shows up and it stays. Silver is the better option, but I can't find that one.
I found it.
Oh, where was it?
Indoors.
Oh, then a little bit of gravel on the top. Same process.
That's not not that thick, is it? It's
No,
just covered.
no, it's not that thick. The compost will drop a little bit. It will slump, as we call it, and then that will get a really good soak.
Now, from the top or from the bottom?
What?
Soak.
Oh, no, they get watered on the top. It's a fairly big seed, so I'll water those from the top. So that's the Meconopsis. They're all going to be done the same. They'll all be sown the same. And then we'll take you outside in a minute and we'll show you where we're putting them for the winter, where they're going to spend the whole winter with no heat at all. Do not. If you put these things on a propagating bench, if you put these things on a heat mat, you let these things get warm, you might as well throw them out because they are not going to germinate. Cool, cold and damp. Look at where they originate from. Same with anything you're sowing. Look at where it originates from. That will tell you the conditions that the seed require to germinate successfully. After that, it's up to the gardener to do what they need to do to keep it going. And sometimes that is the hardest bit, especially with these guys. But that's a subject for another video when we get into the actual pricking out, potting up, and requirements as to where you put them and where you keep them. So yeah, water tank, nearly full. And this is just runoff from the roofs. So I do keep a little hole open. And I do have a bubbler in there that I'll switch on every so often. And it just keeps this hole open. So I can scoop a little bit of water out with a watering can if I need it.
And then the pillows in there to stop the sides from being pushed out with the ice.
Yeah, that's right. But with the hole I've got open, it does the same thing. But yeah, this one's going to get an overflow fitted onto this one at some point. Lots of white shit around all over the place.
It's called winter, Gary.
It's called winter. Oh, yeah, you can almost see the outline of the new tunnel. No, you can.
Where is it, Gary?
You can almost see, look, you can almost see the outline.
Yeah, you can.
And then...
No, nothing else has happened here then?
No, and then the co-frames are all... Oh, follow me. So while we're outside, just to catch up, here's the maples I sowed. Oh, I don't know, quite a while ago. There's nothing up yet. All nice and tucked away in the co-frame. I did open it up the other day, let a bit of snow on here, but it's closed back up again now. But yeah, these things will sit here quite comfortably for the winter, and it's frozen solid. I mean, that is solid. It's one of our native Ontario natives there. It'll be fine. But yeah, so the maples will be fine in there. There's no problems with them. You coming in?
I am.
It feels bloody colder in here than it does outside.
It does actually.
Freaking refrigerator. So everything's fleeced at the moment. Didn't actually get that cold last night, but I fleeced just in case because you can't trust the forecast at all for anything. Everything's now cut back, which eventually I did get around. We were going to show you, but I had to get everything fleeced over again. So everything has been cut back, and the next warm day, decent day, we'll get it all uncovered, and we'll show you what everything's looking like. This is a much, much colder tunnel than the one we had at a previous address, and a lot of that is to do with the aspect and the fact that the sun is not hitting. We're not getting a lot of sun on it during the day, unfortunately. So you've got to bear that in mind when you do set up greenhouses and polytunnels and stuff. You've got to bear in mind the aspect. We had no choice here where we could set it up. Julia didn't want me to put it out in front of the house. She said it was going to look ugly. What the hell she was thinking that for, because I think it had been fine.
You would. Yeah,
I know. Nice polytunnel, 2 or 3 of them. So we had not a lot of choice. But at the end of the day, you've got to work with it. And I already know it's cooler, so I just, I put more fleece on. I'm a little bit more careful when I fleece. I might fleece a bit earlier. So, yeah, it is what it is. You have to deal with the conditions you have. The rhododendrons, you can tell it's a little bit warmer today. The leaves are actually looking quite nice. Flower buds are absolutely solid. And then all the Jack maples are looking nice.
Because otherwise leaves tend to curl a bit.
They would start, if you come in here when you get the -10, -15, -20s outside, the leaves are curled up.
Yeah.
But they're fine.
Flowers.
Yeah, they got a nice lot of buds on them.
Yeah.
I've got 2 trays out front. These are primulas. So I've cut back all the primulas. Now these 2, for whatever reason, they both had aphids on them. And I don't know why just these 2. So an easy way to deal with that at this time of year for me here is to literally, I cut all most of the foliage off. So they're trimmed right back. So I just leave the very new shoots. And these were actually pickled in aphids. And these have been out.
Would you this time?
No. Well, because they were under the fleece.
Oh, okay.
So they never froze. So these have been left out now for 3 or 4 days. A couple -10s we've had, and we had a 0 last night. And if you look really close, you'll have to believe me, all the aphids have died off. -5, they can just about hang around. As soon as it gets to -10 and below, they're toast. So I'll leave these out here for a few more days. Make sure they freeze up a bit, and that will deal with my aphids. And then they will go back under protection of the fleece, but I'm not going to pull that all off. And then the Meconopsis are going to go in here. So it's all Hepatica. The Primula that we sowed a fair while ago, they're all in here. This has not froze yet, even at -20. There we go. It's 2 degrees in there now. It feels a lot cooler.
It does.
It's because it's damp.
Mm.
But if you remember what the packet said on the Meconopsis, it said, once sown, water, I think it did, and place somewhere cool and damp. This is actually perfect. Even when the sun comes out, because the sun is so low in the sky, this frame gets no sun on it at all. If I think it's going to get a little bit of warm, I'll throw some shade material on the top to keep it cool. I don't want this getting above 10 degrees. This time of year, it's easy to do. As soon as the weather in the spring starts warming up too much, this lot will get moved and they'll go outside in a cold frame.
In the shade. In the shade,
in a cold frame, and they will germinate in their own good time. The Meconopsis is the same. They will sit in here, they'll stay damp and moist. Look at where they originate from. A lot of them originate from the Himalayas. Cool, damp conditions for germination, and even cool, damp conditions for growing as well. So that's pretty well the story on the Meconopsis seed sowing at this stage. Nothing's going to happen now, probably until April, May. And then we'll take you from there and we'll show you what happens after that. Then the challenge really starts of actually growing them and getting them to go through their first spring, summer, fall. If you can do that, the second and third year generally is not so bad, because they will have acclimatized a little bit to your conditions. It's that first spring and summer is the real challenge, especially for us here in Ontario.
And then the Sweetpeas, once they come out of the
once they
propagation bench.
Well, they're going to go propagation bench. Yeah. Then they're going to go into another section that I'm finishing off, which will be different lights. And then they're going to come out into this raised bench,
which we have shown you before.
And once I get all the fleece off, we'll show you again. And it'll be kept I'm trying to keep this around about 0, no lower, and they'll be fine in there. And they'll stay in there until the spring then. But there's lots of other things we'll be doing with the sweet peas in the between now and then. But yeah, that's a catch up. So back to this one, Meconopsis, it's only the one pot. Give it a soak with some, and I mean a soak, it'll get watered right through till the water's coming out the bottom with some snow juice, and then it'll get put in here and left. You like that, don't you?
I do. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's just funny, I think. And then it'll be left in here then to do its own thing. Patience. Apparently I have none, according to the wife.
Well, for plants you do, for everything else
I can wait years for things to flower.
Even Linda's laughing at that.
Yeah, she is. I don't know why.
We know you too well.
I'm a patient person when it comes to plants.
I know.
Yep. So anyway, that's it. Am I saying bye? Oh yeah, because
I should think so, because that would be polite.
Yeah, but this will be a whole video, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. So bye.
No. And we're going to say bye to Linda.
Oh, bye to Linda.
Bye to Linda.
So please like and subscribe. And this will be you'll be watching this in the new year.
Yeah. So yeah. I hope everybody had a happy new year.
And a happy Christmas. And let's get back to normal so we can get on with some freaking gardening.